We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity.
We know the air is unfit to breathe and our food is unfit to eat. As if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy.
Silence! The great and powerful Oz knows why you have come.
You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
You have meddled with the primal forces of nature.
Don't give yourselves to brutes, men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, or what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men with machine minds and machine hearts.
With Jason Bermas.
And who loves you? And who do you love?
Good morning, everybody. It is Reality Rants. I am Jason Bermas. We're going to be talking a lot today about virtual reality, Max, and the push not only for the Metaverse, but also the idea that the Metaverse is dead, being greatly over-exaggerated Johnny nonsense. Hate to tell everybody that might get a little disappointed here. Guess what? Going nowhere. Going absolutely stinking nowhere. I promise you that. It doesn't matter how profitable it is. I'll make that abundantly clear. It don't matter how much money they making. It's not about money. It's about control. It's about controlling narratives. It's about controlling technologies. And look, there are a lot of Mac heads out there for whatever reason. The people that tend to be Mac heads are not very computer literate. I'll just say that. Not always. There are certainly people in professional industries that are somewhat computer literate. But I always find it's people that think, well, this is the most expensive, so this is the best thing I can buy. It's not, and no, it isn't. Okay? And I know people that do like professional productions on nothing but iMacs and MacBooks and the whole nine. And look, it gets by, but I think that in most cases it's overpriced and piss poor, which is really, in my experience, the Mac experience. Overpriced, piss poor. Sorry, Mac and cheese. Sorry. I don't long for an iPhone. I don't long for a Mac Mini. I don't long for any of that crap because that ecosystem to me is very limited, overpriced, and really more of a status symbol than a practical use. And this new launch of a $3,500 headset. I mean, it's a used car, folks. It's a used car. It's a down payment on a brand new one. Because you look at it, $3,500 plus tax. You're looking at close to $4,000 for a headset. We're going to play their launch video. Every big-time tech creator has already got some kind of a preview or a review up about this thing as it launched yesterday. And here's the thing. I see a lot of people who have money to burn, who have no understanding of the technology, its significance, going out and buying these stupid things. Okay? And really, they look a lot like AR goggles. So you could actually see through these ones, whereas most headsets right now, including the Quest 2, and by the way, Apple's not the only one launching a new headset. Meta, aka Facebook, is also launching a new headset, a lot, $3,000 cheaper. And it works with everything. It's a standalone machine, like this Apple piece is, but the Apple is also tethered. It's still hooked to something. Now, those the Meta Quests, the Quests 1, 2, and now 3, they're not tethered to anything. They can be. The battery life isn't the best. You can also see, I would imagine the Meta Quest 3 will be better than the Quest 2 headset, which basically, if you want to see pass-through, it has cameras on it. So you see like a black and white real-time pass-through of everything around you. It's pretty crude, but at the same time, it makes it so that you don't necessarily have to take your headset off if you want to grab your coffee or something off the desk. This Apple technology is really not geared at putting you just in a virtual universe, but to have you in an augmented reality where you're still interacting with people, which is, by the way, pretty absurd. Like, okay, in an office environment, briefly in a home environment, maybe. But are you going to want to wear a headset to watch a big screen movie? It can replace your big screen TV and all your monitors. That's bull. I've been into the VR technology since it went commercial. I have an Oculus from back that was still wired. It sits around now. I don't even have it hooked up because you need to put sensors all around it. It didn't have the camera sensors or the motion sensors. Now controllers themselves have gyroscopes in them. And this one is going to be controller free. And by the way, the Quest 2 also in some of its beta programming, you could get rid of the controllers and you could kind of use your hands to navigate. This is actually going to look directly into your eyes and your iris and watch the motion of your pupils, and you can actually select things with your eyeballs. I repeat that. Select things with your eyeballs. Now, again, this seems like a bit of an extended parlor trick, because even with like the Quest 2, there's like a little dot there. If you don't have your controllers, you can look at something, all of a sudden the little wheel will go, and if you stare at it long enough, it'll select it. So a lot of this technology, not new at all, well overpriced. We're going to play, again, I think it's like a 9-minute introducing Apple Vision Pro. After the first segment this hour, when we come back and break it down point by point by point by point on what's actually coming, I want people to understand, again, going nowhere. Meta announces AI training and inference chip project. This is just a few weeks ago, right around the same time that they said, Meta is dead. It's not dead. It's partnered with the World Economic Forum. They may rebrand it. They may rename it. It ain't going anywhere. They want you a part of this virtual world, and they need you to embrace this virtual world, okay, so they can what? Take over the real one and get you more and more comfortable with the idea of man merging with technology, aka transhumanism, right? Old Muskernuts can't wait. David Icke has a new piece up about the Muskernuts, Apple, and basically all these pushes from every side. The Klaus Nutzschwabs, the Yuval Noah Hararis, the Microsofts, all in a push for transhumanism from all directions. Meanwhile, they sit there and be like, the Musk is your hero. The Musk is for free speech. No, he's not. He says freedom of speech, not freedom of reach. In other words, we'll censor you. We'll artificially suppress your numbers. We won't allow you to get your message out if we don't like it. And look, as far as platforms go, outright censorship, Twitter's probably one of the better ones, unfortunately. It really is. We just had this week, RFK Jr. goes on the Michael Tyson podcast. Now, Tyson doesn't own his podcast. He's getting the cheese. He's getting the scratch. He signed off, right? He signed off on doing this podcast, taking money, and not having creative control. Now, to his credit, obviously they put the RFK Jr. one up on YouTube, and YouTube said, no. No, we can't hear from a viable Democratic candidate for the presidency that's already polling tremendously in light of the smears by the mainstream media. Nope, can't have that on you. Get it out of here. Get it out of here. Now, they weren't even allowed to put the Alex Jones podcast with Mike Tyson anywhere. Forget about YouTube. Didn't go anywhere. They didn't even air it. And that's why you don't sign contracts saying somebody else owns your product, period. Somebody else owns your mindset, period. You don't do it. You have to remain independent. And I know some people will sit there, well, you're on Red Voice Media. They license my show. In no way, shape, or form do they tell me who I can talk to or what I can talk about. Ever. It's never happened. I've been with this company now, it's not quite a year, but with the premium, with just doing like the one weekly show, very close. It's got to be like 9-10 months. It'll be a year like that. And, Red Voice is a media outlet that's not only growing, but has seen trouble in the past from previous people being associated with it and going off the cuff. And when I say that, I'm not trying to bring anybody down. All I'm saying is that, in large part, media organizations in particular, especially after something like that happens, where either they are threatened with legal action or forced to defend themselves against legal action, they're not very trusting of other people. They like to sew it up pretty good. And to Red Voice's credit, I take this with enormous responsibility. I just want people to understand that. They've basically said, hey, man, do your thing. We trust you. And trust is something that is, in my experience, is not given. It is absolutely earned. So, look, you'll never, ever, ever hear me say, I wasn't allowed to do this. Now, I might not be allowed to air it on YouTube because obviously YouTube is a platform that has taken my channel several times, has censored a multitude of my videos, and goes after anybody with an alternative narrative to the authoritative one on the most important subjects, and continually shows its teeth when what? When it does these type of things to big podcasts such as Mike Tyson's. And look, RFK Jr. had his big Twitter space yesterday. Another huge win for Twitter, even though the media is still trying to paint that platform now as a loser platform and that it's all for right-wing extremists and domestic terror chatter and conspiracy theories. All Johnny nonsense. All extreme levels of Johnny nonsense. And quite frankly, even though there was a ban on some of these bigger accounts of a conservative nature, their reach is still huge. Like, I'm going to go to Matt Walsh, for instance. I had somebody ask me about why I hadn't seen What is a Woman, and I'll explain why I haven't watched that or a lot of things this year or over the years. What I think about Walsh, the Daily Wire, etc. That's coming up on the flip side of this break. Stay tuned. Thumbs it up, subscribe, and share. This is Reality Rants with Jason Bermas, brought to you by Red Voice Media and our sponsor.
You're still looking good.
I'm still feeling good. You know, I've got all your MyPillow products. Mattress topper, bed sheets, MyPillows, towels, slippers, blankets, sleepwear, dog beds.
Whoa, Charles. Everyone now can get MyPillow products at huge discounts at MyPillow.com. That's right. Now's the time to go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our 3-in-1 sale. We're bringing you exciting new products, overstock specials, and closeout deals you won't find anywhere else. For example, when you buy one of our brand new MyPillow 2.0s, you get another one absolutely free. And with our overstock sale, you save 50% on our luxurious Giza Dream bed sheets. That's as low as $29.99 for the best sheets ever. And with our biggest closeout special, you get our all-season slippers for only $35. Or our sandals and slides for just $25. Quantities are limited, and once they're gone, they're gone.
Mike, I'm interrupting that commercial. So we're going to get to the new Apple unveil of their product in a minute, Apple Vision Pro. But I wanted to hit this story first. And I also want to remind people that we do the second hour over on the RVM Rumble channel, completely free. RVMRumble.com is where you can go find it right away. Make sure you're subscribed, etc. You want to support the broadcast? RedVoiceMedia.com/uncensored. That's RedVoiceMedia.com/uncensored. You're going to get 2 extra premium videos a week. This past weekend, I had a ton of people canceled on me. I got up here. I started running my mouth yesterday saying, oh, don't worry. I locked in 2 interviews. We're going to have them up this afternoon, this evening. And then I had someone else cancel on me. Ricky Verandas, God love him. The Ripple Effect podcast, the Union Unwanted, wasn't able to make it yesterday. However, I had a great conversation with the Jackman Brothers, which is now up for premium. We're going to be playing a small excerpt of them discussing their viral interview recently with RFK Jr. And really the hour-long conversation is how they got into the political spectrum, different large political figures they've interviewed or confronted over the years, their experiences with them, the podcast in general, and really their comedy as well. How they've been able to put out relevant information, have real conversations with big-time political players, and not lose their sense of humor, not lose their sense of humanity. That's huge. That's a big deal. So Eric and Mike Jackman, if you watch the whole thing, they gave me one impression I was not ready for. They did a John Kerry for me. We got a little bit of Alex Jones. We got a bit of Jesse Ventura on top of it. Obviously, a lot of Donnie T, whole bunch of Donnie T. That story, just a great conversation. So if you are a supporter of the broadcast, we do have that exclusive 1-hour interview up, and we're going to be playing a small excerpt of that interview in the broadcast today. Okay. Right here, the debrief. Intelligence officials say U.S. has retrieved craft of non-human origin. Okay. So why am I bringing this up if I was about to talk about Matt Walsh and What is a Woman? Okay, I want to read that for the Apple thing. Sorry, that's not the one. Where is it? Right here. Boom. Intelligence officials now confirm that UFOs of non-human origin have been recovered and studied. At this point, the only reason to discount these reports is your own preconceived belief that aliens can't exist. The evidence is overwhelming now. This is Matt Walsh. This is the What is a Woman guy. Matt Walsh has no idea what he's talking about here. Zero idea what he's talking about here. Nothing. Zip, zilch. It's embarrassing, Matt. And look, I don't know Matt personally. I'm not here to attack him. I'm just here to let people know that you're putting your eggs in that guy's basket. Okay? And look, the film might be awesome. It's gotten great reviews. My brother watched it. He said it was really good. I'm not discounting it. The thing with me is I don't need to be told what a woman is. I'm about to be 44 years old. I've lived enough to know what a man is and a woman is. And whether I'm, about to be 44 or 30 or 20 or 10, I knew what a woman was. And there was no amount of propaganda. I have not been barraged, boom, 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 with so much hate and lies that my viewpoint is flipped. So for me, I don't necessarily need to see that movie. All right? And I love documentary films. In fact, just 2 nights ago, I watched probably a 45-minute video, I think called YouTube Revolution, which wasn't necessarily a BBC or an ITV thing, but a British documentary on YouTube. Had one of the original creators of YouTube who then sold out to Google at $1.2 billion with 2 other partners. And these guys were all ex-PayPal employees. It showed the inference of the viral video. It showed the importance of the internet and YouTube in the Barack star, the Obama campaign, and so much more. Missed a lot of things, for sure. Interesting enough. It just kind of background fodder, me with my feet up in my living room, checking it out. I don't really know the last time I sat down to like a big film like that, right? The Plandemic series now has The Great Awakening out there. Maybe I'll watch it. Maybe I won't. I watched The Real Anthony Fauci, the RFK Jr. documentary, because I did not read the book. I thought that was good, but it could have had a lot more in it. Well-paced for an hour-long documentary. Not even sure how long Walsh's documentary is, okay? But going back to this, and look, I can understand why people are coming to this conclusion. This tweet has almost 4,000 retweets and has been scrolled through and seen 5.7 million times. Now, I saw it without even the tweet. Somebody had taken a screenshot of this, and that tweet did very well. So this gets a lot of traction. No, Matt, it's not just my preconceived notion that aliens can't exist, because that's not a preconceived notion of mine. As a younger man, in my teens and 20s, I very much believed that not only were UFOs real, which they are, unidentified flying objects are real, but they did come from a non-human species, alien in nature, and obviously they came from the stars. I really did believe that. Then I started doing actual research. And don't get me wrong, prior to that I had done actual research, but there was certainly an aspect of ignorance, and I want to believe. And the ignorance was based in where we were technologically during the World War II era, when a vast majority of the sightings regarding UFOs began to occur, especially ones that were considered aircraft. Now, let me posit another reason you would have these experts come out, these intelligence officials. Total and complete disinformation. That's what. And perhaps this person was working on a craft and was told it was from another planet or dimension or whatever. That's possible. But I'll guarantee you Matt Walsh has not watched Mirage Men, does not understand the significance of a big lie such as what? Aliens exist. This technology is alien. And now, once that starts to come out, you set up a scenario where you could utilize technology that is very real with propulsion systems we can't imagine and flying crafts we can't imagine, drone technology we can't imagine that's in the sky. And then accompanying that, on top of the real stuff, would be holograms. And those holograms would make it seem like fleets of these things could exist. And all of a sudden, you have your alien invasion. Why would you trust whistleblowers within the intelligence community, knowing the intelligence community are complete and total liars? Complete and total liars. Why would you trust governments which have openly experimented on human beings, including unwitting citizens in this country? After reading Area 51 and understanding that this was in large part an underground facility to test nuclear weapon systems and other types of weapon systems, propulsion systems, and even do, as revealed later, human experimentation. Why in the world would you believe that's alien? What, because Bob Lazar came out and said he was briefed with some Zeta Reticuli documents? And Lazar, you know, he seems to absolutely have a connection to, what is it, SR? I'm trying to think which subdivision. I don't want to mess it up, but basically a subdivision of the Area 51 complex. Now, Lazar is another one of those human beings, that has a totally sketchy past. I mean, people don't realize, Bob Lazar now has, a family, and he's got his own lab, and I know that everybody talks about Element 51 or Element 151. Bob Lazar ran a brothel. Hands down. Guy ran a brothel with prostitutes. Okay, was prosecuted for it. I mean, to each his own, I guess. It's not the type of business that most people would consider trustworthy. Would consider being run by somebody who's an honest person. So Lazar definitely, aside from the UFO stuff, because look, there's definitely something there. He buddied up pretty quick with John Lear. And John Lear is another one of those guys that has put out, in my opinion, either on purpose or because he himself was duped after seeing all these fantastical things, total and complete mis and disinformation regarding the issue of not only extraterrestrials, but much, much more, including, by the way, things of a quote-unquote new world order nature. And when we get back after the break on this segment, we're going to go back to the Apple device. We're going to play introducing Apple Vision Pro. But I want people to really grasp what is going on with this alien agenda. Because it's a real agenda in the sense that what? It's the ultimate enemy. It's the ultimate enemy. It's the ultimate excuse for control. It's the ultimate cover for doing naughty, naughty things in biological experimentation and warfare. We have to acknowledge that. We have to understand that. And guys like Stephen Greer, who had their disclosure stuff yet again, which is going nowhere. Because, number one, some of these people inside this project can't be trusted. Richard Doty would be the big one. Richard Doty that openly told lies about aliens and UFOs to a local, I believe he was either a multimillionaire or billionaire who went bankrupt because of Doty and the disinfo that he was feeding him. But it's okay because Richard Doty acknowledged all that and then he said he saw a real alien. Saw a real alien body, he did. And those are the type of garbage people that Stephen Greer pushes. I watched another documentary on consciousness and UFOs, and these people think that they're communicating with aliens in mountains. And they're doing these press conferences right in D.C. And this woman is talking about Anjali or something like that, some ex-FBI intelligence spook who's now in a wheelchair because of Guillain-Barré, talking about her experience with aliens in a mountain. No videos. No photographs, no aliens, but we're supposed to believe the ex-spook. So, Walsh, you're way off on the UFO issue, amongst others. That has to be acknowledged. And that guy is a guy who is promoted by the establishment. Okay, believe it or not. They want that right-left paradigm to keep going. But I want you guys to take a look at a word from our sponsor.
Welcome to Reagan Gold Group. We're glad you're here. We understand that you're probably feeling the pain of rising inflation and are worried about how it may be affecting your hard-earned savings. Thanks to H.R. 5376 passed by President Biden, many 401k and IRA savers are facing a nightmare. Governments are printing fiat currency at an alarming rate, which means that the value of your savings is being eroded day by day. However, there is a way to escape wealth confiscation. Precious metals such as gold does not depreciate over time and is a sound investment that keeps on growing. Physical gold is not subject to fraud, and as inflation rises, so does the price of gold. It's an investment product that is renowned for its ability to hedge against inflation. I'm Leith Eaton, the Senior Account Executive here at Reagan Gold Group. We offer 100% free IRA rollovers with free storage, maintenance, and insurance for up to 3 years on qualified orders. We understand that your financial needs and goals may change over time, which is why we offer a hassle-free buyback commitment. This allows you to sell your precious metals any day, anytime at the current market value. Whether you're looking to cash in on your investment, diversify your portfolio, or simply need some extra cash, our buyback commitment is here to support you. We offer a price match guarantee to ensure you get the best price for your precious metal investments. Contact us before making a purchase and we'll beat any competitor's price. We also understand the importance of the safe and secure shipping of your metals. That's why we fully insure all orders shipped to our customers with signature required. Book a free consultation with us now to learn how you can invest in precious metals and hedge your financial future. And for a limited time, we're offering up to $2,500 in free gold and silver. Don't miss out on this limited opportunity. Contact us today to take advantage of this amazing offer.
That is at rvmgold.com, rvmgold.com. Go check it out today. So, before we move back into Apple, I did want to mention this really briefly. Captain America New World Order. I saw New World Order was trending. And anytime something like that trends, I take a look. That was supposed to be the subtitle, the subtitle for the new Captain America movie, which that series, believe it or not, has very much discussed openly globalism, censorship, and a lot of aspects of the quote-unquote New World Order conspiracy theory. But in this, they kind of make it all about Hydra. Well, they changed it. They changed the New World Order. Guess what they changed it to? Brave New World. Captain America goes from New World Order to Brave New World. It's almost like they shouldn't have changed it at all. Both of those connotations extremely significant in a reality-based viewpoint. And especially right now, when we are living in more of a Brave New World than ever, where a vast number of the general populace in this country are totally and completely drugged out of their minds legally by the medical system. 100%. They are lost, and they don't know it, because these medications, in many ways, have severed them from themselves, severed them from reality, severed them from critical thinking, severed them from the idea that being depressed or upset or angry or sluggish can be fixed with a magic pill. It's not going to be fixed with exercise or diet or human relationships or goal setting or what? Focusing on your career and family. It's none of those things. It's not about hard work. It's about a pill. It's about a magical pill that is going to save you. It's going to make you feel all better. Not just one magical pill. What, the magical pill's not working? We got another magical pill to go with that magical pill. And if those two don't work, we got a third magical pill to pop a lop right on top. Pills, pills, pills. Brave new world. All right. I said I would play it. We're already in the third segment of the first hour here. Thumbs it up. Can we get 100 thumbs up? Thumbs up, subscribe, share. Again, can't do it without you guys. Let people know about the broadcast. We're live Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. doing it here at redvoicemedia.com. Second hour, completely uncensored. RVM Rumble.com. And without further ado, let's get into introducing the Apple Vision Pro.
Introducing Apple Vision Pro. The era of spatial computing is here. When you put on Apple Vision Pro, you see your world and everything in it. Your favorite apps live right in front of you.
So again, AR headsets have been around forever. And this is just the new Apple model. They're showing you, again, in that ecosystem, the same type of apps. There's the App Store right there. It's going to have a nice little shadow effect on everything. Really going to be immersive. People are going to be able to see you. You're going to be able to see them. It's the Apple Vision Pro. $3,500 headset.
But now they're in your space. This is Vision OS, Apple's first ever spatial operating system. It's familiar, yet groundbreaking. You navigate with your eyes. Simply tap to select, flick to scroll, and use your voice to dictate. It's like magic. Apps have
nothing magical about that. All the technology is not new. Not developed by Apple, obviously in-house, developed for this headset, but they're not pioneers. Nothing you just saw there is proprietary to Apple or new in any way, shape, or form, or revolutionary. It's not.
Dimension, react to light, and cast shadows. Even though these spatial experiences are happening inside Vision Pro, it looks, sounds, and feels like they are physically there.
Except for you're wearing this huge headset that's sitting on your face, that's strapped to the back of your head. That, yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. When you're playing certain games, and especially of, a very reactionary nature, you do lose yourself in it. And you may, for a moment, think that you're not wearing a virtual headset. I guarantee you, if you're sitting there watching a movie or you're scrolling through apps, you know you're wearing a headset, 100%. And I wonder at the bottom, usually right here at the bottom, it's never like airtight or right against it, and you can kind of sneak your vision down. All right. And the other thing is, I'm not sure how much space this covers. There are certainly some much more expensive headsets that go outside of the Quest Arena that have, I believe, this is like a 4K, better than a 4K display. And we've seen 8K displays on some of these headsets that are massive. Apparently, they have a much more immersive experience because of the field of view and the frame rate. Again, remains to be seen. Haven't played with those, but let's get back to Apple here.
Foundational to Apple Vision Pro is that you're not isolated from other people. When someone else is in the room...
Now, this is supposed to be this woman's daughter. How? That's an Asian woman sitting there. And you could say, well, maybe this is a half Asian, half black, or half Indian person. Maybe. I don't see it. And I get it. We're clearly doing the actor thing. But it just shows you how everything is geared towards diversity. Let's start with an English woman who is also of what appears to be Asian descent. And then let's have her mixed race daughter come in. Let's introduce it that way. And we want some type of an urban environment on the outside, but we don't want quite city-like, something in between. Can we get that? Can we do that? Of course we can. This is Apple.
You can see them, and they can see you. Because you're not limited by a display, apps live in your space. Your photos can be life-size, or any size, so your living room becomes a gallery. And panoramas wrap around you as if you're right where you took them. Apple Vision Pro is Apple's first ever 3D camera. Now, you can capture photos and videos with remarkable depth and relive a memory as if you're right back in the exact moment.
So for those that don't know how the 3D cameras work, again, nothing new about this technology, is that basically you have two cameras side by side in a fixed location that are shooting a high definition experience with each of them. Then, just like with your 3D television, if you're familiar with those, what you do is you get a side-by-side image. That side-by-side image is then interpolated into one image, which appears to give it more depth on each side as you move your head and move around. So you're not only looking around, but it appears everything is slightly moving and has that depth. I think it's a great technology. I just broke it and threw it away this year, but I had one of those, and I still do have one downstairs as well. These 3D TVs, right? I use one as a monitor downstairs, but the 3D television experience is a pretty cool one in my opinion. I like going to 3D movies. I know it makes some people feel sick, but I actually prefer it. I think it adds an aspect of depth. There are certain ways you can do it that make it feel much more real. I'm sure a lot of you have been to a real 3D movie and they have that intro with the robot dog and the balls and they seem to be coming at you and it's done extremely well. I wonder how well this is going to be done, but at the same time, dude, you're sitting there with a headset on while your kids are playing. Instead of being involved with your kids playing or with a camera in your hands that does the same thing, you're wearing the headset to capture it? So you can wear the headset to watch it? No thanks. Again, all this technology, your living room can become a photo gallery. Could become a photo gallery with a flat screen television that everybody can see, and they don't each have to have a $3,500 headset on. And that can be directly streamed from your phone to most televisions these days, to most smart devices. It's inbuilt. But no, you need the Apple Vision Pro.
Hey, Dad!
Experiences on Vision Pro can also expand in 3 dimensions, filling the entirety of your space.
Because that's exactly how you're going to meditate, how you're going to have some kind of inner spiritual connection. Now, you're going to wear a headset, Bruce Lee style, and get in your little position, and it's going to just give you the most immersive graphics. What?
Like in the Mindfulness app, where you can create a moment of calm. Apple Vision Pro brings the scale and wonder of a movie theater to whatever space you're in. It automatically darkens and casts a beautiful glow into the room. And you can make the screen as big as you want. Spatial audio surrounds you and makes you feel like you're a part of the action.
Once again, why do I want to spend 2+ hours or an hour and a half with something on my face? If you want the movie theater experience, this is what and on a budget, by the way, this is what I suggest you do. You go to a pawn shop, you find yourself a nice HD, at least 1080p projector. You can get those now anywhere online, used from $150 to a really good one, brand new, $500, $600, maybe $700. I think I bought my Optima 1080p 4K pass-through HDR, which does a tremendous job, brand new, $700. $700. You combine that with a 5.1 surround system. By the way, I never buy anything new. I bought myself a 5.1 Yamaha old school surround system with a receiver for $40 at a Salvation Army. Okay, great theater experience. Not just me. You know, me and my girlfriend and sometimes her daughter really do enjoy laying back and having that full movie experience, which you do, okay, without wearing a headset with that technology. But now they're she's all alone in her nice house, and she's watching a movie in a virtual headset. Oh, and it sounds and looks amazing. I've never been able to have one of those headsets on and watch something that's just flat and 2D and feel like it's the theater experience. I think that's a big lie. And by the way, you know, already if you are in this type of metaverse, that experience is already happening. They try to get me, you sit in a theater sometimes and watch it. Just realized we missed a commercial break. We'll come back to Apple in a moment after this word from our sponsor.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS? Have you been threatened with levies or have unfiled returns? The IRS is hiring 87,000 agents to boost IRS collections, and they have the power to seize assets, freeze bank accounts, and they can even take your home. Tax Network USA can help you today before it's too late. Our CPAs and certified tax experts have proven strategies that work for taxpayers time and time again. These same strategies have saved over $500 million in back taxes, permanently resolving tax debts for good. Stop collections and get relief today before it's too late.
All right, guys, I do want to get back in to the Apple thing, and I think we're going to do that at the top of the second hour. But right now what I'd like to do is play a segment, okay, of my premium interview that, again, I want to apologize. I'm going to just continually apologize for this because it is important for me. It's important for me to get out what I say I'm going to get out. And that's 2 premiums a week on the weekends. Okay? Wasn't able to do it. Had people canceled. Got up here bragging almost yesterday that don't worry, we've locked it in. We'll have 2 more up this afternoon. And then I get somebody canceled. The Jackman Brothers did not cancel on me. They're extremely well educated, hilarious, and we're going to explore really how it began, you know, how they got into this political spectrum, not only as young people early on, but later as people that got involved in big campaigns and, like I said, are hilarious in doing that. So let's get to it. Hey, everybody. Tell me how the podcast gets started. What your vision was for it then, what your vision is for it now, and that recent sit-down with RFK Jr.
Well, we kind of late 2014, I kind of knew I was interested in starting a podcast, and I met someone at a day job that I had who had already had his own podcast, and we were talking, and I said, "Hey man, I want to get this going, but I need help with some of the tech stuff, and these are some of the ideas I have." And we met, and he agreed to it, and we basically put it together. And officially, it started in 2015, so it's been going for about eight and a half years now. And what I really wanted to do was interview political figures in entertainment, authors, journalists, pop culture, anybody that I was interested in or had admired or just wanted to talk to, someone who created art that I liked or something like that. So it was a mixture of wanting to do interviews, but also just covering the news and pop culture and history and film and music, talking about news of the day. And one of the first guests that a guest that I've always wanted to interview is RFK Jr. And in 2015, I think was the first attempt I made to try and contact him or his people, and I didn't really have any success. And then a couple years ago, I got through to a gatekeeper, and then it didn't happen. And so this has kind of been in the works for 8 years, Jason, believe it or not, talking with RFK Jr. So it was pretty surreal. And yeah, the aim of the podcast is just to put our stuff out there, and like we did. We had a great conversation with a producer and a journalist named David Whelan, who has a book and a film coming out about the assassination of John Lennon, which is something I hadn't really looked into deeply up until recent years. There's a couple of pretty good books about it, and he has one that's going to be coming out that's going to be called Give Me Some Truth.
It's just so odd that when the FBI has files on you and they're following you around and they're trying to make you less impactful of a political dissident, all of a sudden you get shot in the face. It's just so weird. It's just weird.
Or the chest, that's a whole other, where he got shot. That's a whole other deal. So we did a great deep dive podcast, over 2 hours, I think, almost on that. So what I like to do is do long form discussions and just have people that fascinate me or people that I respect and or have questions for. And it's been great with the New Hampshire primary. Like you said, we've been able to talk to all these presidential candidates. And hey, even if I disagree with someone or I don't like their views on stuff, or I'm going to be respectful if they're going to agree to sit down with me. So we've been pretty successful with that. So it's been a lot of fun, and it's kind of grown into what you see today. But like you were saying, it really is out of our own pockets. I mean, we have regular day jobs. We're not able to do this yet full time, although we'd like to. We're certainly going to keep working towards that. But whenever we do is sit down in person with someone, we really put our all into it and try to make sure it's a really great production and quality sound and picture. So we have our friend Jeff from JF3 Productions, who's been with us since the beginning, who does an amazing bang up job on that. And yeah, it's been great, man. We've been getting great feedback, and it's still a work in progress.
Now, did you guys sit down with Dennis Kucinich back in the day and talk to him about Building 7? Was that you two?
I don't think we did a sit down with Dennis, but there's various clips of us talking to him. I think there's footage of me talking with him about Sibel Edmonds, and it's certainly possible we might be sitting down with Dennis in the near future. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, Dennis made himself very accessible in the 2008 election to talk to us about the 9/11 investigation and the Iraq War and stuff like that. So Martel, I think, has that footage, Bermas. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, because you guys did. I want to say that came out of Student Scholars for 9/11 Truth when you guys were doing a bang-up job. I often refer to Dennis Kucinich because, in my opinion, he's one of the last few supposed mainline Democrats that did challenge the war machine. He tried to impeach the Bush administration with, I believe it was 33 articles of impeachment, the last 3 of which had to do with 9/11 much further than any other mainline politician has done. He had been out of the spotlight really almost a decade at this point when you see him pop up kind of as an advisor to RFK all of a sudden, making me want to get behind this campaign even further. My question to you guys would be, since you have sat down with a lot of these people over the years, and we'll start with Eric, but then I want to get Mike's answer as well. Who was the most surprising person that you did sit down with, where you went in there with a certain viewpoint, maybe came out a little different, and then what was it that they said or did that changed your mind?
Wow, that's a great question. Well, they always say don't meet your heroes, and I've always idolized and looked up to Jesse Ventura as one of my heroes because he's always been anti-war and spoken out and been a sore thumb to the establishment. Obviously what he did in 1998 in Minnesota, beating the two major parties as an independent with only like 300 grand. And the other two parties had millions and millions of dollars in establishment backing and all the media and the press. So I was able to get a sit-down interview with Governor Ventura in New York City. He was there promoting his marijuana manifesto back in 2016. So I had been in touch with his booker because we had him on the show before just for a phone interview. And then I stayed in touch with her and said, hey, if I can get a camera crew to New York City while he's there promoting the marijuana manifesto, can we sit down for an interview? And she said, yeah, absolutely. So we scheduled that, and I was a little nervous. I was kind of nervous going into it. I'm like, oh man, what's he going to be like in person? And I have this view of him. We're going to become good buddies and all this stuff. And I hope I don't embarrass myself and look like an idiot. So the interview went really well. And then afterwards, when he was leaving, I walked outside with him and I just said, hey, Governor, I really appreciate your time. And I've always really looked up to you, man. You've been one of my political heroes. So it meant a lot to me that you sat down with me today. And, we did one of these and like a bear hug. And he said, you did a great job. Keep doing what you're doing. It's independent voices that are going to save this republic, something along those lines. So,
and he's a giant of a man. I've met Jesse. I've stood next to him. He's a massive human being.
He is. He's like 6'4", 6'5". He's the body. And he lived up to it, man. He was awesome, and he couldn't have been more generous with his time. And I really enjoyed interviewing him. So that was a lot of fun. And then, there hasn't really been like any bad experiences, Mike. You know what I mean? Like, can you think of anything off the top of your head where it was like, oh man, that didn't go well? Where it was a bust? Yeah. No, but when we interviewed David Icke, kind of right off the bat, Eric proposed like a funny clip skit idea to him. So I think Icke thought that maybe we were trolls or trying to spoof him. Because Eric was like, David, can we get you to say, hey, mate, you're listening to Jackman Radio, and if you don't tune in, you're a lizard, or something like that. And so David was like, no, I'm not going to do that, mate. And I was like, oh, God, he's going to end the interview right now before the thing even gets off the ground. So we interviewed Icke, and we kind of did a video thing like this, but unfortunately, we had a technical difficulty, and the thing either didn't get recorded or it got erased. But he recorded it on his end, so there's a version of it on BitChute or somewhere.
There's a version of that one on BitChute or somewhere. Those are the Jackmans. I had a really great conversation. That's like an 8-minute excerpt. You got Ventura, you got Icke impersonations. You're going to get more. Donnie T, Alex Jones, John Kerry. Really fun interview. We're probably going to play a couple more segments of that throughout the week. When we come back in the second hour in the uncensored portion of the broadcast, we are going to finish up this Apple virtual reality device. I got a ton more stories that I have not hit yet. And then we've got a great speech by Ron Paul, about 11 and a half minutes that I'm going to be playing and continuously interrupting. Yes, continuously interrupting. Before we move on, and we get things going, I don't know that I've reported on this yet, and I think it's important. Fox Business cancels Kennedy, replacing it with Larry Kudlow reruns. Host will remain at network. This happened literally, I think, the day or 2 days before Kennedy came to Iowa with Jimmy Favalas to do a comedy show. And the reason I'm highlighting this is, listen, Kennedy was far from perfect. Her show was okay, but in a lot of senses, she was anti-war and libertarian, at least to the extent that people like Scott Horton of antiwar.com were allowed on the program. I don't think Fox liked that. I think, obviously, the message was sent when they got rid of their number one guy, the Tuckins. Previous messages have been sent with the likes of Lou Dobbs on Fox Business, basically being ignored or given the axe. So this is a bad sign. It's a bad sign on the way to 2024. Not that Fox News has ever been great. One more commercial. We're going to come back to YouTube after that commercial just to let you know where the second hour is. It's Reality Rants. I am Jason Bermas. And yes, I use this VPN. So check out rvmvpn.com.
We love the internet, but the internet is tracking everything you do. Take control of your online privacy with IPVanish. People with malicious intent are everywhere, watching you. Criminals can hack your Wi-Fi, while broadband providers and advertisers monitor your data. With IPVanish on your device, your internet activity is encrypted. No one can see what you're doing. Your location, your connection, completely hidden. Protect your internet privacy today with IPVanish.
RVMVPN.com. That's how you do it. I use it 5 devices at a time. Great VPN. Once again, guys, you want to see this second hour, we're going to get back into the Apple stuff. It's RVMRumble.com, RVMRumble.com, and we do it 9 to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Thursday. We're going to see if we can't get another one of those great premium interviews up in the next 48 hours. We'll see who cancels. We'll see who doesn't. We'll see who shows up. But for now, the Jackman Brothers, the Jackman twins, have returned. YouTube, I